Feed on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application.
Nigeria, I am Becky Magu. Welcome to another delightful edition of Newsline. 2 months ago, we reported the rape and murder of a female undergraduate in a church. During the week, our crew visited the family home of the victim to see how they are faring. The somber moments will be brought to you, as well as how far the police have gone with investigations. Meanwhile, crimes like child molestation are still making headlines. We have bizarre details of how some parents abuse their children in the most horrific manner, and the chronicle of the recent crime of passion between two lovers in Lagos. We also reserved ample space for the coronavirus pandemic. On the softer side, we're there to connect the face mask with makeup. It's an interesting analysis. Also coming is an update on the baby born with Arabic inscriptions on her body. You can tell that we plan to wow you this week, so chill and go with the flow. Let's begin with the news. Elizabeth Omori, over to you.
Thank you so much, Becky, and welcome to the news segment of the program. Correspondent with the news agency of Nigeria, Ismail Shafi, has elaborately revealed how former acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, allegedly masterminded money laundering through a clergy, Pastor Emmanuel Omale. Abubakar Usman Akwanga has details of the revelation.
The news agency of Nigeria reports that during interrogation of the suspended acting chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, by the Justice Ayo Salami-led panel, a copy of the report made available to NAN on Saturday in Abuja identified one Pastor Emmanuel Omale of Hand of God Prophetic Ministry as a chief launderer of the relooted funds. The report states that Pastor Omale was uncovered through an investigative report on EFCC's activities by the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit and mentioned in the final report of the Presidential Committee on Audit of Recovered Assets. The report established that the unknown clergy is alleged to have bought a landed property on behalf of Magu worth 573 million naira in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and also mentioned in several petitions as masterminder of money laundering. As an unknown pastor, the NFIU's report showed huge movement of funds ranging from 573,228,040 naira and 41 kobo, and indicates efforts had been intensified to expose the real identity of the clergy with a view to arraigning him for trial. On the Ziani Alison Madueke case, the PCARA report accused Magu of failure to cooperate with authorities in the United Kingdom to facilitate effective prosecution of the case. NAN established that the acting chairman failed to liaise with the UK NCA to charge the former minister to court in the UK. The suspended acting chairman was also indicted by the report by NAN correspondent for deliberately refusing to provide documentary evidence that would allow Office of the Attorney General of the Federation to initiate extradition process, which strained EFC's relationship with Europe. NAN reports that Magu is being held at the police headquarters. Is expected to reappear before the Salami probe panel on Monday against several allegations. Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
In our to electrification, federal government is addressing the challenge of low power voltage in the country with the construction of more substations to boost and provide stable electricity. Minister of Power Salim Ahmed inspected one of these facilities in Jigawa State ahead of its inauguration. Joshua Ojito reports.
Strategic to the implementation of the Power Sector Recovery Program are substations under construction in parts of the country to address low voltage and epileptic electricity supply. Jigawa State is benefiting from this infrastructure, which is located in Gagarawa. There are 3 substations in Jigawa State with these of 2 by 60 MVA, the biggest in the state, expected to serve 6 local government areas. Minister of Power Saleh Momun is in Gagarawa in continuation of his tour of power projects to monitor their implementation as he engages the contracting firm on timely delivery.
The project is commendable and we have almost reached up to 90 or even 100% completed electrically. Here we want to improve the voltage that we have not been getting before. And I also want to use this opportunity to urge the contractors, all power contractors, to come back to the site and so that they can deliver.
We are expecting to have about 50 industries as time goes on because of the power availability now. And I really have to commend President Muhammad Buhari for continuing the job that he inherited. This job started 20 years ago, but the government of Muhammad Buhari continued to fund it and make sure that it is done.
We are in the final lap. Okay, so you can see now even the substation is energized. It's called soaking of transformer, it's called energization. So it means substation is ready for commissioning. We are doing the pre-testing or pre-commissioning.
Work on the substation is nearing completion. From Gagarawa in Jigawa State, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
To security now, troops of Operation Ordering Daji have rescued 5 kidnapped victims and arrested a local gun fabricator in Sokoto State. A statement by the coordinator, Defense Media Operations, indicates that 3 of the liberated victims were rescued at Isa local government area. The other 2 were rescued at Yayu village in Sabon local government area of Sokoto State, while 5 members of the group and a local gun fabricator were also arrested with 10 den guns at a village. Similarly, 302 rustled cows and 412 sheep were recovered in Anka and Talata Marafa local government areas of Zamfara State. The statement adds that the air component of Operation Ordering Daji has also destroyed another armed bandit camp in Kuyanbana Forest, Zamfara State, neutralizing skulls of bandit fighters. This was achieved through airstrikes executed on the 10th of July 2020 after human intelligence and reconnaissance missions established that some structures served as hideouts for suspected ISWAP elements. Still in security, the Niger Police Cybercrime Unit, Interpol National Central Bureau Abuja, has arrested 3 suspects in Edo State for cybercrime-related offences, including advanced fee fraud, money laundering and romance scam. In a statement, Force Public Relations Officer DCP Frank Omba explained that the suspects were arrested in Uromi, Edo State, following investigations into suspected fraudulent online procurement and supply of COVID-19 protective masks received through the Interpol, NCB, Germany. In a similar development, police operatives also rescued an American citizen confined to a hotel in Lagos. The victim, a retired civil servant from Washington, D.C., USA, arrived in Nigeria on February 13, 2019. Investigations revealed that the suspect, Chukwebuka, also forcefully collected and took control over credit and debit cards, as well as the operation of her bank accounts, including the receipt of a monthly retirement benefits and allowances over the period of 15 months. The first public relations officer revealed that the suspects will be charged to court on conclusion of investigation and prosecuted in line with the Cybercrime Prevention Prohibition Act 2015. Away from security, history was made in Lagos this Sunday when the federal government officially handed over the monumental edifice, the National Arts Theatre Complex, Igomu, Lagos, to the Bankers Committee under the supervision of the Central Bank of Nigeria for revitalization and meeting international standards. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the theatre will accelerate the growth of the creative industry. Abolade Salami reports.
4 decades ago with the aim of developing the creative industry in Nigeria. The National Art Theatre, occupying a land space of more than 23,000 square meters along Igomu Road in Lagos, has over time been neglected, thereby resulting in infrastructural decay and waste of national assets. In order to stop the huge capital loss arising from the abandoned edifice, the federal government, through a public-private partnership with the Bankers Committee under the supervision of the Central Bank of Nigeria, has taken charge of its rehabilitation with a view to developing it into a creative industry.
This iconic national theatre remains a national heritage and will not be ceded to any person or group, as some have chosen to frame what we are doing here today. What we are here to do is to hand over the National Theatre for restoration and upgrade.
The new life for all of us. It's not about anybody losing job. It's about bringing better, refreshing, a job that when you wake up in the morning, you'll be happy to want to go and serve. That's what we're bringing together.
The Creative Center, with a major focus in key areas such as music, movies, fashion and ICT, will go up an initial funding of 25 billion naira with all needed support for startups and existing businesses in the creative industry.
This creative and entertainment center can be a source of growth for our economy. It will also aid our objective of reducing our dependence on revenues from crude oil.
Marks the true beginning of the creation of a proper and well-structured creative industry that will provide employment to several hundreds of thousands of young Nigerians.
The project, which is in fulfillment of the federal government's mandate of diversifying the nation's economy, as well as gainfully engaging the youths, stakeholders resolved that the renovation, which spans 18 months when completed, will be a rallying point for youths in diaspora to come and contribute their quota to the development of the creative industry that is expected to boost the nation's gross domestic product. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Now to COVID-19 update. More than 73 persons test positive for COVID-19 on an English farm outbreak as Hungary imposes visitor ban on some countries, including Africa, to curb rising waves of the virus in the region. Joyce Ometo brings us a review of the pandemic in the past week.
Statistics published by the Coronavirus Resource Center in Johns Hopkins University as at 6 p.m. local time says there are now 12,926,254 COVID-19 cases worldwide, with 569,098 fatalities. These figures show an increase of more than 1.4 million new cases and 34,000 new deaths in 1 week. Africa now has 582,442 cases, 13,043 deaths, and 288,292 recoveries. Cases across the continent rose by 114,402, with 1,906 new deaths during the week. Back in Nigeria, statistics compiled by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control show that a total of 3,820 new cases were recorded in the past week. The country now has 31,987 cases, 724 fatalities, and 13,103 recoveries. In other news, about 200 workers at a vegetable farm in England have been ordered to isolate after an outbreak of coronavirus. At least 73 of the workers have tested positive, and more are awaiting results. And Hungary has imposed new restrictions on cross-border travel, including a ban on foreign visitors from certain countries come Wednesday, 15th July 2020. Foreigners from countries with high rate of infections, including Albania, Ukraine, Asia, Africa, South and Central America, are banned from entry. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has promised urgent financial support for those whose livelihoods have been devastated by coronavirus. This is coming after protests about his government's handling of the pandemic. And that's a global update on COVID-19. Many thanks for watching. I am Joyce Ometu.
Now, to the impact of COVID-19, the outbreak of the novel coronavirus is impacting global economies, and many are on the verge of going under. As the federal government gradually opens up the economy, deploying measures to tackle shocks that may arise after COVID-19 is pertinent. Archibong Bassi in this report highlights some of these shocks and how people can cope post-COVID-19.
Today, face mask, shields, and constant hand washing have been the new normal.
When I come out before 12 o'clock, I don't go. But now they still reach 4 o'clock.
All the hotels that used to patronize us, they don't come again because they got shut down. So the whole market has just gone like that.
The United Nations estimates that nearly 30 million people could fall into poverty, and the number of acute food insecure people could increase significantly. With this projection, experts see evolving strategies to absorb economic shocks in post-COVID-19 have become imperative. Government agencies have come up with incentives, funding incentives, to ensure that the agricultural chain yields the desired results. Findings reveal that the pandemic provides a platform for entrepreneurs to discover the best approach to viable opportunities. For the citizenry, managing shocks in the economy as the lives of the people grapple with the present global realities may be received with ease. In Calabar, Archibong Bassi, NTA News.
The controversy surrounding the approval or not by NAFDAC of Pax Herbal Coxine, a medication for Pax Herbal Clinic and Research Laboratories in Edo State, continues despite clarifications made by NAFDAC. Many are still with the belief that NAFDAC has approved the COVID-19 herbal remedy as safe for public use. NAFDAC Director General Professor Mojisola Adeyeye now joins us via Zoom to shed more light on the organization's listing status and NAFDAC's stand on Pax Herbal Remedy. Professor Mojisola, it's nice to have you join us on the news.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
All right, Prof, what exactly is it with this herbal remedy? Could you enlighten us?
Okay. NAFDAC has received about 21 applications of herbal remedies relating to COVID-19 disease. And Pax Herbal application is one of the 21 applications that were submitted. And usually when an application is submitted for a herbal medicine, that application goes through what is called the listing approval process.
Okay.
The listing approval process involves testing of toxicity, whether that herbal medicine can kill somebody. Test for microbial content, test for pesticide residue, for some of the phytochemicals inside. And this particular phase or listing process is just to ensure that the drug or the herbal medicine is safe to use.
Okay. Now, I'd like to comment there.
Irrespective of, sorry.
What next and how long would it require to conclude the procedure for Nigerians to access the products?
Okay. Irrespective of the disease state, whether it's COVID or no COVID, it has to go through this process to ensure that it is safe for whatever the applicant claims, for whatever the manufacturer or company claims that the medicine can do. It usually takes months but because of COVID, we have expedited the review to 6 weeks.
Okay.
And from application to approval is 6 weeks. That is assuming that there are no corrections to be made by the applicant, because sometimes they submit something and then we give them compliance directive. Please supply this information. We need to know that the environment where you are making it is also conducive for human consumption, things like that. If there are no compliance directives, it takes about 6 weeks, and it is because it's expedited. So that was what Pax Herbal went through, or the approval process went through. So it was approved for listing purpose, which means for safety.
Okay.
And we approved it for safety only.
For safety only?
For safety, meaning that it cannot, if somebody swallows it, it will not kill the person.
Okay.
But Pax Herbal said that it can improve immune, or it can it's for immune boosting. That is an immune booster.
Okay.
We cannot say whether it is immune booster or not until Pax Herbal does clinical trial.
All right.
Even if 2-3 people knows that it can boost their immunity, that is not science. And that is the difference between safety and efficacy. The efficacy has not been done.
All right, Prof, there are so many pharmaceutical companies out there that would love to come up with local solutions. So what message do you have for them in their efforts to find local solutions to COVID-19?
That is a very good question, and that is the passion of mine, because I've encouraged local herbal medicine practitioners to get their products to the market. However, to get the product to the market, the first thing is listing. I've taken them also through understanding what it means to do clinical trial. We've had series of meetings on that. I've even taken a lot of the practitioners. NAFDAC has taken a lot of the practitioners through intellectual property protection, meaning that if they discover something that their medicine can do, they can take it to a lawyer, a patent lawyer, that will help them to protect their intellectual property, to protect their invention. We have gone through that.
Prof, please, quickly.
But what's my message to anybody? Hello? My message to the public is that NAFDAC is ready to encourage practitioners to get their product to the market. However, the practitioner cannot say that their product can treat a particular disease.
All right, I would like to cut in there, Prof. For the purpose of clarity, could you tell us, is Pax Herbal approved or not?
Pax Herbal was approved for use only, not for the indication that it was claimed.
Okay.
Because on the label, when an applicant submits an application and we approve, we put it on the label, a disclaimer that NAFDAC has not evaluated your claim. It is only clinical trial that we prove or disprove the claim. So there is always a disclaimer, meaning, yes, you said it can boost immunity, but this has never been tested in the lab for clinical efficacy.
All right, Professor Modisola, we want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice evening.
Now, to political matters, the Southeast APC leaders have resolved to work towards ensuring the unity of the party in order to actualize its goals. They made this known to journalists after a closed-door meeting held at the Imo State Government House, Owerri. Bright Ebucho has details.
The Southeast APC meeting, which attracted major stakeholders from the region, held behind closed doors. Governor Uzodimma, while briefing journalists on the outcome of the meeting, which lasted several hours, states that President Muhammadu Buhari has since 2015 exhibited capacity for good governance and development of the country. He further affirms that in view of the president's effort towards ensuring the unity of the APC,
we are decided that we will follow the national party. We have decided that all federal government policies that is targeted at making sure that the common man on the street has a good life, we will embrace.
Somebody whose name is Hope is giving people hope, is giving the party hope in the southeast, is giving the party hope in the country. We have seen signs of that hope, and it gives us strength, and we believe that is going to do a lot more. We have come to compare notes with our government and to rub minds with him so that we can do more.
the target of the forum is to galvanize support for the party towards strengthening its structures. In Owerri, Bright Ibuchu, NTA News.
And in other news, the federal government is to review its air agreement with various countries as a result of the unacceptable treatment of Nigerian carriers during the pandemic. This was made known by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyema, via his Twitter handle at Jeffrey Onyema, tweeting about the successful evacuation of Nigerians from London at very low fares, coordinated by the Nigerian government and Air Peace. The minister said 2 additional flights were scheduled with full knowledge of the UK authorities due to what he called the exceptional intervention of Air Peace, which bore the extra huge cost at no extra charge to evacuees. He further urged aggrieved evacuees to understand and appreciate the sacrifice made by the airline, stating that the government would review its air agreement with various countries to foster better treatment for Nigerians in emergency situations. About 20,000 poor and vulnerable in Niger State have received their May and June payment of the federal government's conditional cash transfer program, totaling 480 million naira. The program, which is the present administration's social investment initiative, seeks to support the livelihood of the poor and vulnerable. Husseina Musa reports.
Of the about 20,000 poor and vulnerable benefiting from the monthly conditional cash transfer of the federal government, to them the 10,000 naira May and June payment came at a better time when their families and micro businesses need financing.
As I go now, I share into 3. 1 enter my business, 1 is for food, 1 is for maintenance of the house.
It's helping me in many ways. My children's school fees, my business, many things, I can't count it all.
There are about 20,000 beneficiaries cut across the 25 local government areas of Niger State. Head of Unit Conditional Cash Transfer, Niger State, Hadiza Shuru, says 480 million naira was disbursed to the beneficiaries who have also been trained to cultivate saving culture so as to fall back on the money after their 3 years exit. This, she adds, explains why cooperative societies collect individuals' contributions at payment centers.
Apart from the behavioral change, we have also taught them how to do micro businesses within their domains.
Desk officer of the program, Adamu Shehu, says the beneficiaries who must be personally present, in addition to their pictures taken to avoid impersonation, are paid using their cards. The federal government says plans are underway for more people to benefit. Emena Hussein Musa, NTA News.
To fellow stations, President Muhammadu Buhari